Welcome back, my guys. Today is another day, another video here comes again. So tumesema now we're gonna go to our practice number 2, hashtag 002 practice web development playlist. Okay, so now on this one I'm gonna have this one here on the same thing, the same process. And by the way, I forgot, manze, thanks so much for those people who are still tuning in, manze. Thank you. Continue subscribing, continue sharing, manze. Let's reach our target. Yeah, so the video for today will be coming up with this 3-column card, 3-column preview card component. So this card, as you can see here, we have how many? We have 3 cards. Okay, we have this one here, the 1 card here. Okay, and then we have the middle one, we have the third one. So we have for the sedan, the SUVs, and the luxury. Okay, now vile nilisemanga, before you start coding, what is the approach we need here? So you need to understand the design. Unahitaji ku understand this design before you come up with the development codes, because these are just designs. We need to turn these designs into actual thing. Ama namna gani? Sindio? So ukiangalia hapa, wacha tuanze na hii card ya kwanza, okay? So this card here, can you see the red dot I'm showing you? All right. So this thing here, tuko na how many parts? So we have a logo here, a logo icon. We have a title. We have this text here, and then we have a button. Okay. All right, something entering your head? All right. So tuko na ka icon, tuko na ka title, ka text hapa, na tuko na ka button hapo. The same for all of these others, okay? So we need to come up, before we start developing, tunafai kujua some CSS properties that we are going to use, okay? Is it a display of grid or is it a display of flex? Lazima ujiulize, si ndio? So hapa, you know that I love using display flex, right? So hiyo ndio nitatumia sana. So nikisema ndatumia display flex, what will I be using? Okay? Si ndio? So nikisema ndatumia display flex, inamaanisha ukiangalia hapa, we have let me zoom for you again here. Haya, kuna a space here. Okay, I want to come up with a display flex. Let me say I have a space here. I have this big space here. What does this tell you? Right here, this space is huge and these one are the same. So this means this will be a container of itself. Okay, and then this button will be a container of itself. All right, and then this container box, okay, this one will be a container of itself. So this is just a simple decision. This will be a display flex, right? So if you complete this one alone, if you complete this one, then the other ones become easy peasy. Namna gani? Right? Yeah, coding is fun, guys. So later tukiingia kwa mobile hata itakuwa more fun, okay? So let's do this. Let's do this thing. Namna gani? Right, so let me dive in. So as usual, frontendmentor.io usually gives us a style guide, okay? Okay, so this is the style guide. As usual, we have some colors, we have some body sizes, font size. We have some font families here, okay? Lex and Deca, big shoulders display. So everything is provided for you. You just need to start practicing, okay? Now, as usual, so we come up to this title here. I'm going to put this to Jumanji here. And then the same 3-column preview card, okay? And then, as I said, I prefer using professional way of putting your style sheet externally, okay? Separately, I mean, okay? So I'm going to remove this one. And then this part, don't ever delete it, because this text is the one that we're gonna need, okay? So what I prefer, you do what? Control / comment that. Then we start our thing. So let me come to my design again. So we have this one centered. Remember, I showed you in my previous video about the QR code. I showed you a trick on how we can center a div. Okay. So what was the trick? So we need a main element. So the main element will be the container of this column. Will be the container of what? Of this column here. So this container will be inside this main of background color white. So today's background color white. Okay. So that's all we need. So we have a main, and then we have a container. So I'll not enter inside the container. Let me first come up with the main. So as usual, main hashtag main, right? And then inside this main, I have a container, as I said. So div dot container, right? Now we have the container there. What next? Inside this container, we have boxes. Let me just call them boxes, or what do we call it? Sub-container. Anyways, let me call them boxes. So inside that container, we've got boxes. All right. So this box here, and this box here. All right. Now let me come up with the box. And again, this box, this box here has some parts. Okay, as I said, there is a big space here, so this means this box has two parts. This part 1 and this one part 2. All right, so let me come up with those parts first. So I'm gonna say div.box. Okay, and then inside that box we have part 1. Okay, now inside that part 1, what do we have? Inside that part 1, we have 3 elements. We have an image element, we have a title element, and we have a text element. Those are 3 elements inside this part 1 container. All right? Anything cooking up in your head? You are good, right? Perfect. So I think you're understanding right now. Sindio? Perfect. Haya. Part 1, tumesema tuko na the icon part. Let me say the icon part. So if you don't want to go with the divs, you can just go with direct image. But why do I need to prefer going with the divs? Because div is a rectangular area. Inside that rectangular area is where you put your element. Okay, so I prefer that way. So div.icon part. Okay, so easy readable codes. Okay, my guy, be a senior. Okay. So we have the icon part. This is the icon part. We have the image. Okay, sorry. So image. What's the source? As I said, what does this mean? The source where your image is stored. Okay, so my image is where? Inside this folder of images. And where is it? Let me, which is one? Is it the sedan? Yeah, the sedan. So my image is this one, icon sedan. So I'm gonna say images / icon sedans. What will be the alternative text? This alternative text means what? If you remember that whenever this image doesn't load, then this one will show up. Okay, accessibility issues. So alternative text will be what? Sedan icon. Okay, just like that. Let's move to our next part. After the icon part, we have the title. Remember title part. So title part, we have the sedans. So I'm gonna just write H1. All right. Okay, I know H1s will be many. H1. Let me just give it H1, right? Okay, H1, H2, H1, H2, H1, H2. Because we don't have another title here. Because we do not have another title here. Let me give it H1. For accessibility purposes and SEO purposes. Okay, so H1. What is the name? So we didn't delete it. This one is it here, the sedan. So I'm gonna Control X. and then Control V. Okay, and then we have the text part. Choose sedan for its affordability, X, and then P here, P for paragraph, like that. Okay, that's it. That's it for what? For part 1. This one is part 1. So that means what? This one means we are through with what? With this part. The icon, the title, and the text. Okay? Now let's go to part 2 where we have the button. So I'm going to come below the part 1 and say dot part 2. Part 2 we have just a button. So we just say a button. Just like that. A button element. Okay? Button. But I'm going to give it a name. Okay? So button dot btn, whichever name you give, okay? That's my class name of that button. Button class btn, just like that. What's the name of the button? Learn more, right? So all of the directory, okay, learn more. Let me just write learn more because I don't have the text. Learn more. Let me check my design. Learn more. Perfect. Okay. So that is over for our first box. Because we are IT guys, we love being productive, okay? Not wastage of people's time. I'm not going to type this thing again, but I'm going to copy paste it. So just select the box. So let me click this icon. So we have the box, okay? Copy. How many boxes do we have? 3. So how many left? 2. So paste one, paste another one. Now after pasting like that, you know the informations are not the same, right? So I'm going to come here. Which one for box 2 is, okay, so this one, box 2 is for SUVs, okay? So I'm going to come here, change the icon name to what? Icon SUVs. Sedan icon, I'm going to say SUV icon. And then the name will be what? Here we have it. Where is it? Let me come tag that one. The name is SUVs. I'm going to come here, change this one to SUV. And then we need what? We need the text part, the paragraph. The paragraph itakuwa nini? Itakuwa hiyo nimecut na nikapaste hapo. Okay? And then learn more. And then we come to the last box. The last box will be what? Luxury. Luxury. Ama namna gani? Luxury. Watu wa Ingrisia wako wapi? Alright. Luxury. Then we come here, take this one luxury, cut, paste, cut, and then I'm gonna paste. Cruise in the best car brands without the bloated prices. I finished up with those text or the informations inside the boxes. Okay, so what are we left with? The footer, right? Okay, so let me close this on container because that is the main ID main, that is the parent, and then the container where the boxes will be arranged there, and then we have the footer part. I'm gonna say the footer, or you can say anything, but I prefer going with the HTML5. Okay, so footer, hashtag what? Footer. You can give it an ID, or it's not a must. Okay, make things simple, my guy. Okay, so footer, inside the footer, what did we say in our last video? The elements or the text in footer are mainly small. Okay, so small element. And then I'm gonna just copy this one here, cut, paste. So challenge by who? Frontend Mentor. Target blank. Target blank means what? Whenever person clicks that thing, inaenda wapi? To the new tab. Frontend Mentor. Shout out to frontendmentor.io. Coded by who? Your name. So as usual, I'm gonna put here my portfolio, jumanjigomez.github.io/personal portfolio. Your name here, I'm gonna say Jumanji. Alright, go and watch that movie kama hujawatch. Nalalisha juu. Alright, so this is the skeleton. This is the what? The skeleton. Okay, sijui niwazumie. Let me try and zoom. Yep, so hope you can see. So we have the main element, we have the container element. Inside the container, we have the boxes, and these boxes are 3. 1, 2, 3, okay? And inside these boxes, we have part 1. And that part 1, we have the icon part, the title part, and the text part, okay? Part 2 of that box, inside that box, we have a button with learn more text, okay? And then lastly, we have the footer. So what do? We're gonna need to go live, okay? So just right click anywhere free and just click open with live server. Okay, let's wait for it. Service started. And boom, here we have. So we just have this one, the text, the SUVs, we have the luxury and the text and the learn more. And then we have the footer challenge by. Simple. Now, our best lovely time making the magic happen. What is it? The CSS. All right, now let's come to our CSS, giving our skeleton some colors, some positioning, and some appealing and eye-catching solution, okay? So right here, so I'm gonna come here. Let me create a folder for styles. So make sure you are outside and then click the folder. I'm gonna say style. Inside that style folder, I'm gonna say style.css. All right, so empty. So before I start writing inside the CSS, I'm gonna link up that external CSS into my HTML, okay? So just write link, and then link with what? CSS option, and then change the location. Make sure it's inside a folder of style, just like that. So style.css. If you want to confirm, just delete it and make sure if the editor ID auto-completes for you. I'm gonna say style/ all right. There's a mistake, right? Yeah, so here's the mistake. This one needs to be inside the folder. Needs to be inside the move. All right, so it's inside our working directory, okay? Sorry for that. So I'm gonna say style. Okay, now it's auto-completing / style. If you see it is auto-completing for you, then you are on the right track, my guy, okay? So Control S, save your work. Now before we enter our style.css, as usual, Frontend Mentor provides us with the style.guide, the styleguide.md, okay? So click that one and let's download the font. Okay, so I'm gonna just click Control, then open for me that one. Here it comes. So make sure you remember the font weight, which is 400, okay? So here it is. When we click our font, Legs and Decker. So as usual, we're gonna come to what? Get the fonts, okay? So get fonts. Okay, so let's give it a minute. So get font, and then get embed code, okay? So get the embed code. So here in the embed, let me decrease a little bit my screen. Okay. So we need which weight? We need 400, okay? So just come here and click one value and then the regular 400. And then here, as I said in previous video, is that I prefer using import because of blah, 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 okay? Go check out that video. So I'm gonna just click import and then take this URL here, copy it. Then inside my style.css, I'm gonna paste it there. So we've just imported our Legs and Decker. And then there's another font being used. Here is the Big Shoulders display, okay? I think this one is for the title. So I'm gonna click this one, opens it. All right, the Big Shoulders display. Which font weight do we need? 700. So I'm gonna come here, get font, get embed code, one value, 700, and then I'm gonna just pick the import. We need this one, the Big Shoulder. So nakuja kwa style.css alafu paste hapo. We're gonna make this thing as a variable. So the primary colors, the neutral, alafu we have the body font size, okay? So I'm gonna take the colors from here, primary, and then we start with the root, and then paste. So inside the primary, I'm gonna say we have this one. So tulisemaje, tunaanza na hyphen mbele. So tutaandika hapo hyphen alafu jina hiyo variable, kisha tunaenda na semicolon hapo, another hyphen, dark cyan hapo, alafu tunaweka the very dark cyan hapo the same way. So just do what I'm doing here, and then tunaweka neutral, the neutral colors, we have the transparent white the same way. Paragraphs, so this is for paragraphs, so put that in mind. So I'm gonna remove it, and then we have the very light gray. So this is for the background, the headings, the buttons, put that in mind. So close, and then kuna font size pale chini 15 pixels, ndio? Yeah, so font size, font size 15 pixels. So those are the root or the variables that we are going to be using in our solution, ama in the challenge given, okay? Sindio? Aya, that's it. Tumemalizana na style guide, kuna kitu ingine, so I'm gonna close it. Alafu next, so there's nothing changing, so aka kanini kako vile kako kamebaki tu hivyo. So we need to give some colors, right? So as usual, I'm gonna start with the asterisk. Hiyo tulisema ni nini? Ina select all the elements to a default stylings. So I'm gonna say margin kwa 0, ipatie some padding hapo kwa 0, and then ipatie some box sizing. Lazima iwe na box sizing, si ndio? Ipatie box sizing ya border box. We're gonna need to put the font family. Sasa hii font family no utaona the font style will change. You see this one as it is right now? Put that in mind. I'm gonna give the font family. Before I give the font family, there's 2 fonts we have been given. So let me check this designer. Hii inakaa kama hiyo ya 700, and then hizi zitakuwa 400 default. So the default one naipatia the Lexendeka, sindio? So I'm gonna say Lexendeka. Whenever there's no internet ama ikatai kuload, tutatumia nini? The default one, sans serif, sindio? So I'm gonna use the default one, sans serif, sindio? So nikihit to save, Control S, now the font will change. You see? So we have this one, we have this one, we have the luxury. Right? Now everything is working perfect. Now let's head up to our main. So our main, we need to center this container, and our main background color is white, okay? So I'm gonna start with this one, main. I'm gonna just write #main. I'm gonna give it a background color. So what's the background color? Var. And then remember, we were told this very light gray is for the what? The background, the button, okay? So I'm gonna choose that one. All right, so nothing changes. Okay, let me see. Okay, there's some background changings there. And then our lovely part, you see this part? This is very white. This one is what? Light gray. What do? Width and height. So I'm going to say width 100 VW, height 100 VH. Save. We solved that issue, right? Okay, now let's align these guys here. Okay, so I'm gonna just say display display flex. After saying flex, what happens? Our footer comes where? Here. because we have two elements. You have the container element and the footer. This one is the same, just like the previous video we did, the challenge of keyword code, okay? Very same thing. So display flex direction, column, and then what? Justify content, center, and then what? Align item, center, save. There we have it. So if I decrease my font, my zooming, you see, everything is centered. Now, what is the next thing? The next thing will be what? Coming to this container. Okay. So I'm going to come to my VS Code. And we're going to enter our container. So container. So hashtag main.container. Let's check our design. So this container has 3 boxes. And these boxes are displayed like what? You can say it's not a display block. Okay, you can choose grid, but I prefer going with flex because these are just 3 boxes. We're going to have a challenge that we are going to use display grid. For example, kama gallery page, unaona hizo gallery, watu hutumianga grid. Sasa, let me go with display flex here. So I'm going to say main.container. I'm going to say display of flex. Let me see. All right, there we have it. There's something going on, right? Sedan here, serve here, luxury here, right? Now, what next? Because this thing is not like fully the width of the screen, I'm going to give this container a fixed width, okay? So this width will be, let me say, blah, 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 250 pixel, kadowenye ama, ama ni zoom tena muone, kadowenye, sindio? So, 320 hapo, bado, 450 usikatae. Kadowenye ama, ujue sija zoom yangu bado ni 100%. So, hebu niweka 67, tunajua Frontend Mentor tumianga 67 sana. Hapo, we've not finished yet. Let's just continue, okay? Okay, let me just give it for now for 50, but later I know we will need to change, right? We'll need to change somehow. And then another thing, let's continue, okay? So, main.container, okay? Now, after doing that, we come to our box, our first box, okay? Div class box, and all of these have same name, box, class name, box. And remember, we have different colors here. So I'm going to show you how we're going to deal with that, okay? So let me start with this one. I'm not going to give the color for now, but we're going to give these items, align them nicely. So I'm going to come dot container, okay, dot container, dot box. Let me give it a width. Okay, let me start with the background. So for now, let me give them, all of them, the same background color, okay? Let me say, let me pick there up. Let me say bright orange for now. All of them will have bright orange, okay? So let me say bright orange right now, just like that. And then I come here, bright orange it is. And then let's come here. So by the way, I can remove the container width and put the boxes to have width. Let me try. So if I say here width of every box to have 250 pixel, let me remove this one. Yeah, that's the best way. Let's give the width to the boxes and not the container, okay? So the boxes will have 250 pixels. Let me try 300. Let me see. Okay, so let's give our boxes 300 pixel of width, okay? And then you can see here we need some padding, right? Let me check the design. So the design, yeah, there's some padding needed right here, okay? Top, bottom, left, right, okay? So the padding to the boxes, padding, let's say 2 rem. Okay, that it is. Okay, so we have the width, the padding 2 rem, and again, okay. So let me try and give a gap to these boxes so that I can see the different boxes just for now. So I'm gonna say here, gap, because the container that has the display flex gap. I'm gonna say 1 rem. I want to see separate boxes. Okay, right there. So we have this box sedan, we have this box SUVs and the luxuries. Now what next? Let me come here. So right now we are working to all the boxes. Okay, we have not started to come to specific. Okay, so all the boxes styles, which style are similar in all boxes. As you can see, some stylings here, those spaces, right? So I'm gonna come to part 1 of the box. I'm gonna come back to the box later. So .box.part1. Inside this one, part 1, as I said, I'm gonna give a display of flex. Flex will be column. Gap will be how much? Let's say 1 rem. I'll just check it out. Okay, this one here. We have not reached here yet, wait. Or we can just separate this one right now. So in the box, I'm gonna say display flex direction, column, and then the gap. That gap is which one? Let me show you just a minute. Gap is this one. This gap here, you see? So if this one is 1 rem, if this one is 1 rem, this one will be twice or thrice that one. So let me say 2 rem. Something like that. All right? Okay, not yet. Just chill, okay? All right, let's now come to our, I don't think I need to touch the icon part. I think it is responsive. It's very small, right? So let's just leave it there. Okay, so let's work on the title. So title, so .part1. Part 1, you can find many part 1s. Let's say .box.part1. And then, which are we talking about? We want this one. The icon is already well responsive, so I need the title part. Part1.title part. Okay, and then this title part, I'm gonna say H1. So H1, I'm gonna give it a font family because it needs the specific. Which one is the big shoulders? Okay, the one we imported. Big. Make sure you write it correctly. Big shoulders, default sans serif. Let me see any changes. So there's an issue, right? .box.part1, the title part, H1. Makosa ilikuwa typo. There you are. So sedans, SUVs, luxury. Okay. Let me come to the design once more and check the title again. So it has a color of white. Okay, remember the white we were told about? I think the light gray. Okay, so this sedan, I'm gonna give it a color variable, very light gray. There you are, sedan, SUVs, luxury. Okay, and then we come to the text part. So the text part, So again, okay, let me come to the text part. So choose a sedan for ISAF. Okay, the text part, there you are. I'm gonna come here, .box.part1, .text part. Okay, and then the text part. P, let me enter first P. Okay, I know you remember the trick I gave you, right? First of all, let me just enter P, and then I wanna give it a color for now. Color very light gray. Okay, there we have it. Well, let me check. Are they the same? No, right? So there is another white. We have transparent white, we have very light gray. So we need the transparent white. Yeah, that it is, senior. Haya, ile trick niliwashow, tunaangalia hii kama inaendana na design, si ndio? Kama kuna line height mahali tunaweka hapa. So acha niangalie hii text vizuri. Choose, and then we have some a little, okay, let me remove that distraction. Okay, so we have this a little bit of height here. Okay, the line, this is called line height kwa paragraphs. Sa kama wale wamezoea Microsoft Word, kuna kitu inaitwa line height ama spacings. Okay, that ka spacing there. So let me work on that, and then before I work on that also, after I work on that, let me check also the width of this box text part. Okay, so this text part is not the whole of this. Okay, it's not the whole of that. So we have choose here, and then here we have your. Hiyo ndio trick mimi hutumia. Sawa my guy. So nakuja hapa kwa box ya text part, hiyo container ya paragraph, alafu nipatie width. If I give the width, let me give the line height. Nimesema hivyo, line height. Okay, nipatie 1 rem, tuone vile iko, najua ni ndogo. Haya, alafu nikuje nipatie 2 rem, cheza nayo, hiyo ni kubwa, hiyo ni kubwa. So 1.5 something there, si ndio? Ni hiyo. Let me nichore, acha nichore tena nikae niingiana. This is it, 1.5 rem line height. Okay, and then I come to the width part. So here we said we have choose, and here we should have your. So this your should be here. So what do we need? We need to decrease the width, okay, of this text part box. So that's why I usually use the divs instead of the p elements directly. Okay, so width, I'm gonna say 80% of the parent. Choose affordability fuel. Ebu acha niangalie niseme choose affordability fuel cruising and your. So hata ukifanyaje nini screen size, it will be the same. Okay, all right. So we've given the default for all boxes. Okay, another thing is the part 2 part, sindio? So I'm gonna come to the part 2, and remember we have a big space here. Okay, don't forget that. Okay, so nikuje hapa, acha tuingie kwa part 2 dot box dot part 2. Hii part 2 iko na nini ndani? Let me check, what does it have? This part 2 has what? Acha ku highlight. This part 2 tuko na button ndani, and this button has a class of btn. Okay, all right. So let me check the okay, sawa, btn. Okay, and then this one is part 2. So that part 2, let me check here. So this button does not fill the whole of this width, right? So that means what is okay. And then we have the button here. Okay, so part 2, acha kwanza ikaiwa part 2. Let me just say dot box ama dot btn because iko peke yake. All btns dot btn. So this is for all buttons that will have class name of dot btn. So dot btn has some radius, has some border radius here. Okay, and then it has some padding. All right, some padding. So let's come here. So it's a button. I'm gonna say first of all remove the outline none. Okay, border, there's a border. I can see the border because when I see the active state, mtu akihover, there is some border, right? So that ka border, mtu akiweka mouse hapo inakuwa hivi. So that border is something whitish. So 1 pixel solid. So solid, you can say, ukisema solid inamaanisha is just a line. Okay, ukisema dash ni hizo ma dash. Okay, I'm gonna show you. So 1 pixel solid, which color? Tuko na transparent white na very light gray. So unaona gani? Hebu tuone very light gray. Hatuwezi ona sai vizuri. And then there is a background. Before someone hovers on it, check the desktop design. There is a background, right? sindio? Okay, let me zoom with this one. So background color, let me say light gray. Let's come to the padding because kitu haipanuki. So padding, on the right, on the left, top, bottom, let me check, all are the same. So let me say something like 1 rem. Yeah, 1 rem is enough, right? So now your arrangement, tutakuja kuifix. Okay, there's a trick I'm gonna show you right away. So before I go there, let's work on this button. Let's finish up on this button, okay? So learn more, and then the padding is there. What will be the next thing? The border radius, right? So I'm gonna say border radius, let me say 25 pixels because it's almost over. Okay, naona hii padding ya juu ni kubwa. Naona hii, this padding is so huge. This one is okay. So let me try and reduce that padding. Okay. So padding, top, bottom. Ukisema hii ya kwanza inakuanga top, ya pili inakuanga right, top, right, and then bottom, and then left. So it's like let me show you just a minute. It's like top, right, bottom, left. That is the padding, okay? So staki hivi kwenda kuelezea tu. So I'm gonna give, ukipeana mbili inamaanisha this one is for the top and the bottom, and then this one is for the left and right, okay? Ukipeana hii option. All right, understood? Let me continue. So as I was saying, this padding here, let me zoom, this one and this one. Okay, yangu haifanani, it's not the same, right? So I'm gonna say top, bottom to be 1 rem, right, left, let's say 2. This one, let's say. All right, so the padding is like this. So have we fixed? Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, just a little bit, sindio? So if I check here again, okay, mine is so slim, kakonde. Top, bottom is so slim. So let me come here, let me say 0.8. There we have it. Or this one is so huge again, the width. So I'm gonna say 1.7. Just playing with numbers, so small. 1.5. Okay, let me reduce this one. 0.5. 0.7. There we have it. I'm done with it. So it is what it is, right? So we have the design like that. Okay? So this one and this one. Perfect. So the default, have we worked on the hover? Not yet. So let me work on the hover thing. So BTM. So if you want to put a hover, we need some transitions, a little animation on it. So 0.2 seconds. Can say ease in, ease in out, or other people prefer linear, whichever, okay? So I'm gonna go with ease in and out. I'm gonna say .btn hover. What changes? The background changes, right? So background color will be what? Transparent. Just write transparent, because as you can see here, the active state, there is no color in the background. The default state, there is a white background, okay? So if I hover, all right, lovely. Now another thing, this border size is so small, right? Check on the Frontend Mentor's one. Yeah, so I need to add something. So maybe 2 pixels there. There you are. Right? Another thing, we've not come to the specificity of each box, okay? Just chill, my bro, okay? No rush. If I check here, okay. here. Okay. There's something, the cursor. Look, my cursor is pointer, but if I come and check here, there's that thing, right? So I'm gonna come here and say cursor pointer. Okay, so this cursor is like what the mouse will be, okay, whenever it touches that element. There you are, it will be a hand-on click. Okay, cursor pointer, just like that. All right, now let's come now to this issue. Look at this issue here. Can you see that issue? This button should be straight, but this one comes down. How do I fix that? I just come here. Where's my box? Here on the box class. And then I'm going to give it a height. Just the height, I'm going to say, let's say 300 pixels. For it to be uniform, that's very small. Let me say 400 pixels. Okay, let me say, now after doing that, okay, let's give it 400. Okay, there. Now from here, let me say 450 first. 450. You see, just a little bit, right? Now, what will be my trick? My trick is, we have a display flex here, right? There is a CSS property or a field called justify content space between. All right, we've just fixed that. But now my space is so damn huge, man. So I'm gonna decrease my height. There you have it. Do I need another thing? Let me check. So the desktop design, here we have it, that one, okay. And style off-road, okay. Okay. All right, now let's come to specificity. Specificity. All right. Now, in my specificity, what I'm meaning is that this box has its own style, unique style, like of color. And then this one, box 2, has its own color, okay? That's what I'm meaning by specificity. And then this box 1, we have something here, border radius here, but here there's no border radius, right? So we have some specificity, okay? So ukiangalia hii text button here iko na some colors, right? Let me zoom for you. So we have some colors here. Hii color na hii color ifanani, right? So let's work on that. So let's start with the what are we gonna do right now? So what we're gonna do here in our boxes, we can add a class name, okay? Just write a space here, okay? Put a space and then we give it the name, let's say the sedan box. The sedan box. And then this other box we're gonna say the SUV box. Okay, look at those class names I'm giving my guy. And then here we're gonna say lags, the lags box, okay? The luxury in short, okay? Now the sedan box, so I'm gonna come here and say dot box dot sedan box. What are we changing? In this sedan specific box, we need to put a border radius. And this border radius is not on all the corners. It's just the top left and the top bottom. The bottom, or let me check. So we're gonna say border top left radius, okay? I'm gonna say, let's say 12 pixel. Let me see it. That's so huge, right? I'm gonna say 10 pixels, somewhere there, right? Look at this. Only we have a corner here and not here, okay? And not here. So here we need to put another border. So which part is that? Is border bottom. Which side of the bottom? The left side. Border bottom left radius 10 pixel. Okay, we've just fixed that, right? Now what other thing is specific in this sedan box is what? The text of this button. All right, So I'm gonna just come here and say dot box dot sedan box. Naona vile nimeshikanisha. Remember that this is the tree, okay? Dot box dot sedan box, and then wait a minute, dot box dot sedan box, but this button, let me check the position of that button. That button is inside part 2, so it's not inside part 1. So dot box dot part 2, okay? Dot box dot sedan box dot part 2 dot btn, okay? Color, what is the color of that text inside? Something orange, is bright orange. There you have it. And now when you hover, it disappears. Let me check the active state design. When you hover, it should be white. So let me come to button hover to give it all of them this default color variable. When you hover, be it the very light gray. Okay. Okay, just a minute. Because of specificity, something is not working there. So I'm gonna come here again and say, but should work. I don't know why. I can give the important. Unakumbuka kitu kikataa unapatia nini? Where are you? I'm gonna just say important. Down, this thing is important, dude. Alright, there you have it. It's very important. Sindio? Now we have it. Sindio, we finished up with what? The specificity of the sedan box. The text is nicely arranged. The space nicely placed. This one, nicely. Alright? Perfect. Now, let's come to our next box. I'm gonna join them later. This blank space, don't worry about it. I want to show you the specificity I'm talking about. Now let's head over to our next box, the SUV. This SUV, it has some colors, right? And the text color of that button is somewhere, all right? And this info on the text part, this one is tech, interior, versatility, next, and then off-road. If you check mine, tech, spacious, and you see, it's not aligning the design. So I'm gonna work on that also. So I'm gonna say dot box dot SUV box, okay? And then we need to deal with the background. Background color, I'm gonna say dark cyan. Is it the dark cyan or the, yeah, dark cyan? There you have it, right? So we have the dark cyan there, okay? Now let's come to this button. Okay, let's come to this text first, okay? It's not arranged nicely. So I'm gonna come to my text, dot box, dot SUV box, dot part 1, dot text part. I'm gonna add a little bit of width there. What's the width we gave here earlier? Something 80. So I'm gonna say 85. 85%. So we have an off-road. Let me confirm. It needs to be off-road. So let me say 90%. That's too much. Let me say 88. A little bit. 86. Katani 87. Ngoja. 80 what? 86. Okay, you playing with me? 84. Wewe 85 basi, wacha kwa hivyo. Unakataa? Okay, haya, imeamua imeninia. So, let me say, let me play, can I play the font size? Take an SUV. I forgot. The font size should be 15 pixels. Why am I always forgetting this font size, man? Where is the P tag? Where are you, man? This one here. Dot text part P. It should be a font size. Oh my god, a font size of what? The variable font size 15. Yeah, somewhere there. So I'm gonna come back and play with my width, okay? That's why it was not working, man. 84%. 80%, the way it was. Okay. 82. 81. Okay, no, I don't know why this off is not coming here down. Okay. Let's check. Have we messed up with this one? Choose affordability, fuel, cruising. Let me check. Choose a fuel, cruising. Now that's what is perfect. This one is what that is disturbing me. Should I play with the line height or the spacings? Look at this. Take spacious versatility. Take interior. Okay. So let me say 75. Take take interior. So 78. Look at these title. They are title cases, okay? So what I'm gonna do, let me come here to my H1. I'm gonna say text transform uppercase, all of them. There you have it. Sedans, SUVs, luxury. Let me turn off the night light. I don't know if it is the light that is making me not see well. Okay, there we have it. So the sedans, the SUVs, the luxury. Okay. Let me continue to the button. So I'm gonna just copy this one, and then I'm gonna put it here, but change this one sedan to SUV. Okay. Which one is it? It's not bright orange. It is dark cyan. Okay. So there we have it. And again, these text, the button text should be something a little bit of font to it, right? Mine doesn't have the font to it, so I'm gonna come here and say font to it, maybe bolder, right? Yeah, something like that. So it's a little bit of bold. There's a boldness there, right? Another thing is okay, this text, I'm gonna come back for it, man. Hey. So let's come to our third box, the lags box, the luxury in short. So I'm gonna come here and say .box.lags box. It has a background, color or variable. The variable is where is it? The very dark cyan. There you have it. We have the very dark cyan apple. And then again we come back to this text part. It's not arranged well. So let me check the design. So arrive in style. So in style inafoikuwa chini. So I'm gonna give let me take this one. Okay, I'm gonna change this one to lax box. I'm gonna say width. Let me start with 50 right now. Okay, 50 nakaa hivyo, si ndio? Haya, 2070 nakaaje in style. So umemaliza hiyo shughuli. Ndio mimi nikikasirika hiki kitu naweza iweka wewe. Haya, cruise in the best car brands though. Okay, let me confirm the design is in the same. Cruise in the best car brands without the bloated prices. Cruise in the best car brands without the bloated prices. Enjoy the enhanced comfort. Okay. Now, you all seeing something I'm seeing here? Kiangalia hii car brands iko hapo, car brands yangu imeshuka chini. So hapo hata zi maneno na wacha niongeze width kidogo. 75. Okay. 80. But now let me check this line height. Is it the line height that is playing with me or what? The line height. Are you the one playing with me? Okay. 1.2. 1.3. Let me continue playing with my numbers. 75. 70. There's some spaces here. So sioni leo wini kitusaidia. Leo kinatusaidia tu ni kuharibu hiyo font size. Na nikiharibu hiyo font size naona hazitakuwa the same thing, right? So if someone could recommend anything I should have done here, kindly. Yeah, we are practicing together, my guy, okay? So I'm not gonna lie, I need some help here, guys, okay? So now let's come to these border radius of this luxury. Okay, so the border radius of the luxury box, I'm gonna say border radius. Which side is it? Border top. Which top side? The right side. 12 pixel. Is it 12? 10 pixel, right? Let me save it. Yeah, we have the border radius there. Another thing we're gonna do, we need the border bottom. Bottom which side? The right side. The 10 pixel, okay? Yeah, and that's how we fix that. Now, let's join our boxes together. Ama namna gani? Right? So I'm gonna come here to my container and I'm gonna remove the gap. I'm gonna remove the gap. Save. Yep, imeshikana, right? So that's the container we were dealing with, okay? So if you check it, everything is perfect. Only this part, so someone may come through. So this one is perfectly aligned. The display flex worked perfect here. Now let's see this about this footer. Let me put this footer a little bit. So before I put that a little bit, there's something here. This gap, I can put here a gap. Just one rem. And then the footer will a little bit up. Yeah, that's good. Now let's change some stylings for these A tags as before, as the previous video. So I'm gonna say footer, hashtag footer. Inside the footer we have the small element. So I need, inside that small element is still okay. I'm gonna need the A tag. And that A tag, I'm gonna give it a text decoration none. Right? And then some colors. Let me give it the primary, which is the okay, let me give it my own coloring. Hashtag 33. So but when someone hovers, let me pick my favorite color here. Kona hii orange, kona hii cyan na dark cyan. Twende na gani? Let's go with this, the bright one, right? So the bright orange. So let me give a transition. Okay, remove the all 0.2 seconds. Easy in out. Hashtag footer, small A over. I'm gonna say color to be bright orange, right? So whenever someone hovers, there's a bright orange there, okay? Now, so when I click this one, it will put you to where the target is not blank. So this is where we're back. The target is not blank. So let me come back here. Where is it? I need it to be target blank. So just put here target blank. All right. So that will fix what? Opening in the new tab, okay? Yeah. So that's it for HTML skeleton part. I know it took a lot of time and minutes because of this something I was trying to work on, the text part. But if you find my next video for the No Talking Code With Me series, I know I'm gonna fix that here, okay? Sorry for that. I'm gonna fix that, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. So the HTML part is done. As you can see, the design and the thing I coded here is likewise is just the same, right? So next we're gonna work on our responsitivity. You see, if I zoom, there's no responsitivity. So let's move on to mobile responsitivity. Okay, now our next part, as we say, is mobile responsiveness. So let's come up to inspect. Now here at the inspect, so I'm gonna choose my device frame. So you can deal with the responsitivity like this, or you can just come and choose your favorite device here. If there's no device here, kama kupata, so what you do, just come on these three dots here and then click on the devices, okay? Add device or add device type, okay? So you're gonna choose show the media queries if you want, or you can hide them, okay? The mobile, okay? So let me click here. If you want more devices, again, you can just edit here. Just click edit. And then on the edit part, you can select the devices you want. So what I'm not finding here is the moto, G4. Where's the Moto G4? So I'm an Android fan, so don't play with me here, okay? So and then we have the iPhones. So even though we don't have an iPhone here, we can still use this one. And then I love using the Pixel 2 for Frontend Mentor challenges. I prefer and I mostly use the Pixel 2, okay? So just make sure it is checked and then click close. Now you can see your devices. So if I click Moto G4, then you can see the device frame. You can just click here and then show device frame. There you have it. So and then the sizes, let me put 50%. Okay. So as you can see here now, the responsivity is needed, right? Because these boxes are just horizontal. They are just in a row. So what do we need to do? Just click this one, inspect element, okay? And then select the container. So inside the main, we have the container, and just you're gonna say flex direction column. Okay. Now another thing, as you can see, there is some. You see that thing? So just come to your main. Instead of display flex, we're gonna say display block. Okay. Say display block. Okay. And then give this main some padding. So let me check the design. So if I check the mobile design, we have something like this, okay? So there's some padding here, top, okay? So I'm gonna come here and say padding from the top to the top and bottom 2 rem, right and left 1 rem, okay? Okay, so we are almost there. So let me put pixel 2 here, as I said. Okay. Now, look at this. The width is not fully taken, right? So I'm gonna come to my boxes. Where's the boxes? So boxes. So I want all the boxes. I'm gonna say width 100%. Okay. So if I say 100%, it occupies the parent of the container. Okay. Now let's remove these. Is there nini? Yeah. So let me zoom for you. Yeah, there is some border radius here and here. So there is no here border radius, okay? So this one needs to be removed, okay? So we need to remove this one here. We need to remove that one. So just click the sedan box. We've not already placed them in our style.css, okay? We are just using the developer tools menu, okay? Kwa wale watu wa mobile pia, as you can see on the code editor, there is a kalamu there. Nona that pencil edit. So click that pencil settings and then there will be a developer tools, okay? So let's continue. So the sedan box, I'm gonna remove the border bottom left, and then I'm gonna put what? The border top right, 10 pixels, okay? Another thing, another thing? Let me check once more. So this is how we do this is how we do responsivity, okay? So let me see. Oops. So text imeongezeka width kidogo, hapa imekuwa trip, si ndio? So lazima tuongeze text kidogo. So inside our part 1, we need to move over to, let me choose this one and then choose the text part. I'm gonna give a width of 90. 90 is many, 80, so 85, trip like that, right? And then the padding, I can see here, who clicked that one? The padding here is reduced, the gap, okay? So I'm gonna come back to my developer tools option, and then the part of the container, the part of the box, inside this box, there is what? This gap here, okay? So click the box, and then the gap was 2 rem. I'm gonna reduce that gap to 1 rem. Okay, now has it reduced? Because of this specificity. Let me say gap 1 rem. Okay. So now if the gap doesn't help again, we're gonna come to our height. okay, the height issue. So the height of the box, I'm gonna give it 300 or 350. Let's say 330, right? Because as you can see there, the mobile design is that the height, and just a little bit there. So this height and this gap here and this gap, so this gap is reduced, and then there's some padding here. So let me check my actual thing. I think this one is best, right? So still the same, padding, space, 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 and then the padding. Okay, it's still okay, right? Just like the design, okay, a little bit, right? Let's come to this box number 2, this SUVs box, okay? Let's check the text. I know the text. Where is the text? Adventure is the last thing, okay? On that paragraph, still okay. Let me check the luxury. The luxury box, there is no border radius here, and the last word is style in the text. So let me click this box, lux box. This lux box, there will be no border bottom, the border top right, I mean. So there will be, it will be a border bottom right and a border bottom left, 10 pixel. There we have it, right? Sindio. Another thing, let me check the text part. Let me open part 1 dot text part. Let me reduce this thing. Dot text part, the width is 70, so I'm gonna add the width 80, 85. There we have it, right? So the style is there, the button is there. Let me check the button. Is the button full width? No. So the button is still okay with us. So the button, again, I forgot, the color is not changed, right? So sorry for that. So let's come back to my style and change this, and don't save. If you save, the things you have done here will get lost. No. So let me take the BTN here, and then this BTN should be the lux box, the luxury box, okay? So lux box, color should be very dark cyan, okay? Naona nimesave. Oh my god, I've just saved. So if you save, everything disappears, my guy, okay? So now, before I just remember what I did, so I'm gonna just put here mobile screen viewers, okay? So this is media query, at media, you can say screen, only screen, but if you just say like this, that means for all the properties, either the screen, the what, maximum width is 800 pixel, then the styling will be like this, like that, okay? Now, tabdi tumerudi nyuma. So display block, tulipatia main display block kwa sababu ukiweka hata flex direction column kwa hii container, vitu zinahepa, zinajificha huko juu. So nikisema display block zinaonyeshwa, okay? So that's the first thing. I'm gonna copy this one, and then hashtag main should have these properties. I'm not gonna save, and then the container, it should be flex direction column, okay? So I'm gonna come here, take that one, paste, and then flex direction column. I'm not gonna save, and then I come to this box itself. This box, we said we added some width to be 100%. So take this one. So let me say width. So if width 100%. So I come back here, paste what I copied. Let me put some spaces because we are on a box now. Width 100%. And then we come to the height. Because of this gap here, I'm gonna play with the height, which we said we give it something 350 pixels. So that's another thing. We add height 350 pixel for the box. And then on this sedan box, we said we removed this one, the border bottom. So I'm gonna come here. We added the border top right, sindio, 10 pixel. So I'm gonna copy that. Let me remove this one, border bottom left, and leave this one, okay? And border top right, already it was there. Okay, so let me copy the class name, and then we give the border top right 10 pixel, but the border bottom, which one moves? Border bottom was it left to be what? 0. There we have it, right? Now let's continue. Again, the text, we said it should be added a little bit, because if you remember the design, let me come back, the trip should be down. So I'm gonna come to the text part, add a little bit of width here, 85, take the class name, and then I'm gonna give that copied here, and then the width 85%. And then we come to what? SUVs. Is the SUVs fixed? Let me check. The text, I remember it was fixed, right? Adventures, yeah. Now let's come to luxury. So this border radius needs to be removed. Let me click that box, lux box. So I'm gonna remove the border top right and add border bottom left 10 pixel, right? So copy that one, copy hiyo hapo. Okay, sorry, nimeanza kuweka ari. Haya, we need border radius bottom left, sio ndo tumeongeza 10 pixel, right? What's happening? Border bottom left radius. And which one moves? The border top right radius inakuwa 0. Okay, oops, sorry. Yeah, there we have it. Let me check the text. So the text, I remember we need to ongeza it, ndio text part. It should be 85. Where was it? 85%. Okay, so because all the text are just 85, can I just put this one to be just where is it? Dot text part dot box dot part 1 dot text part 85%, right? Because I remember I placed there a specificity of lux box. So yeah, we need to change that one. So I'm gonna say dot box dot lux box, okay, dot part 1 dot text part. Okay, the width should be what? 85. What did I say? Whenever we have two same thing here of the same width, just come here, add a comma, and then copy the class name, okay, and then paste it where? There. It will be the same thing. Okay, so just save. Yeah, everything is cool on the boxes, the container of the boxes, everything is looking perfect. Now my footer has been damaged because of what? The display block we placed on the div ID of the main ID main. So let me see how I can fix that. We have display block padding. Now this footer, let me enter to my footer. So click the footer. This footer needs some stylings. Footer, I'm gonna say text align center. Then you need a margin. Let me say a padding margin, padding top bottom to be 1 rem. So huge, 1 rem, and then left right just be 0. Nothing we need there. So we have like that. Everything's cool. Yeah, I think so. So everything is cool here. So if I check on some other devices, everything is perfect because our boxes have a width of 100% of the parent container. So if I check iPhone users here, iPhone 4, iPhone, I don't have iPhone 12, so iPhone 6, 7, 8 upper. So everything looks perfect. If we come to laptop viewers and big screen viewers, we have something like this, okay? And then iPad mini, something like this. So this is called responsitivity. The media query is working, okay? So yeah, wadau, it was so long, ilikuwa mrefu sana, and okay, let me refresh. Yeah, right there, okay? So it was true, my guys. So we've been practicing well. Thank you so much for those people who are still continuing to tune in, and other people's or my loyal subscribers that are continue sharing this content. Thank you so much. So that's it for this video. We've just solved our practice #002 challenge for the 3-column preview card. So my guys, I'm gonna drop the link to this GitHub in the description below this video, and kila kitu itakuwa sawa wadau. Thank you so much, take care, peace.